G'day guys, how's it going? Bloodteeth here, coming at you with another Gemcraft video. And I got a confession to make. I bought the Magician's Pouch. In fact, I bought it very shortly after I made my last video, which is a while ago. And as you can see, I've kind of forged ahead quite a bit. Wizard level 156, fields explored 116. I don't have many more fields to explore. So what am I going to do in this game? Well, what I'll do is probably just talk about some strategies. Some people are getting stuck on this specific field or that specific field, or they want to know, they just want general advice where they seem to be hitting brick walls. I have to admit, I was hitting brick walls before as well. But once you get the Magician's Pouch, in other words, you pay your $5 or whatever it is, then you unlock some content that is quite important. Specifically, this is going to some random... Here we go. Battle trait, Orblets. Basically, what you can do is you can pour some of your Shadow Cores into the Orblets battle trait. This is a good one because Orblets, depending on how many you actually choose to have, give 5% mana gain bonus until taken by the monsters. So in other words, alright, I got 7, so I'm making 35% more mana than if I didn't have this trait on at all if I pumped it up to 7. But, having said that, these Orblets are around my, sort of, what's it called? The Wizard Orb, where the monsters try and go to. And if monsters reach the orb, then instead of just being banished straight away, the first 7 or so that reach the orb will actually grab one orb and try and take it back outside of the map. Now, what you can do is you can destroy those monsters while they're carrying the orbs, and then the orbs will be released and they'll slowly make their way back to your orb. But if more monsters come and pick them up on the way, then they'll automatically pick them up and try and take them back to the edge of the map. Now, if Orblets make it to the edge of the map, then you actually get a penalty on your mana gain. Now, I see. Sorry, 9 Orblets. For some reason, you get 9 Orblets. I see. Okay, first level you get 3 Orblets in the map, and right up to the maximum of 7, 9 Orblets appear around your orb. That makes sense, because it's good in that 45% extra mana during the map while your Orblets are around the orb. But if they all get taken away from you and dragged to the outer edge of the map and you lose them all, then for the remainder of the game, at least with battle trait on 7, you get a 90% mana penalty. In other words, you are effectively making no useful mana, and at that point you better hope you're really close to finishing the game, because if you're not, then you're really going to struggle. So keep that in mind. That is incredibly useful. Also, another thing you get to do at the end of every single field, once you've completed all of the waves, you have the option to go into endurance mode. In other words, just pick up where you left off and the game randomly generates all of these, waves for you. It's actually a lot like, you remember the pylon levels? No, not pylon levels. In Gemcraft Chapter 0, I don't remember. You know what? I honestly cannot remember which levels had endurance. Oh yeah, that's alright. Gemcraft Chapter 0. One of the options you could do for every field was endurance. And I don't know if you remember what that was like, but I remember endurance on Gemcraft Chapter 0 seemed a lot harder than endurance on Gemcraft Labyrinth. So, my advice to you is go ahead and do endurance on every single field after you've completed the field, because it'll give you the chance to get more apparitions or whatever onto the field. Therefore, you destroy them, more Shadow Cores for you at the end. You destroy more monsters, which means more XP at the end, etc. so on and so forth. You've got nothing to lose if you go ahead and do the endurance mode after every single field. So unless you press for time, go ahead and do it. Honestly, Really, the worst case scenario, you end up making exactly the same as if you didn't. So, endurance mode and Orblitz as a battle trait. Those are two of the many goodies you get from buying the Magician's Pouch. Highly recommended. They really helped me out in terms of trying to pass levels. Now, I've got all the battle traits except for one, as you can see. I don't think I'll bother going through all of them. When you get them, you'll be able to see what they are, and just be careful with some of them, but there are probably 3 there which I could quite happily go ahead and pump up to the maximum whenever playing any field. And yeah, unless you start leaking monsters through your orb, it's not really a drama. Let's see. Shadow Cores. Always go for these fields, these sorts of fields. The stronger the better. The ones with the wizard towers. For some reason, apparitions and specters and shadows and spires, they all seem to love to come at you while you're playing these levels. So any level where you get lots of those, by all means, just keep playing it over and over to boost up your Shadow Cores, because your Shadow Cores are what you need to boost up all of your fragments in your talisman. I've got a couple of fragments that are a little bit better than before. Rarity 40 and 42 here. In fact, I still don't have enough Shadow Cores to upgrade these puppies. But having said, I've upgraded one. This one, I do not want to spend almost all my Shadow Cores upgrading him for the moment, because I need to make a video. Oh, and also you randomly get these fields that start with V. V1, blah 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 blah. They're basically different versions of levels that you've played before, or throwback levels to levels that you've played in other games. This is the very first level of Gemcraft Labyrinth, Gemcraft Chasing Shadows style. This one down here on the other corner of the map is the very last level for Gemcraft Chapter 0. And it's incredibly hard. These levels have special rules. Usually the talisman doesn't have any effect. Your skills have no effect. No battle traits are allowed. You just click into it and there it is, and you're presented with this situation and you've got to go from it. So it's pretty much a matter of attack those whenever you can, whenever you want. There's no way to prepare for them really. I'm finding a couple of them to be quite difficult actually. Let's see, this one's just a replay of this level here, but with slightly different rules. That's quite difficult actually. And I think I've unlocked all of the hexagonal tiles except for this one, which I'm assuming is tile Y or tile Z, something like that. I've got tile X there, W, X, T. What's this one down here? I don't have any unlocked there. Anyways, that's enough advice giving. What I'm going to do is... What am I going to do? I usually replay field 06 at the moment because it's easy enough for me to pass quite comfortably while usually gaining around between 120 to 210 or 220 Shadow Cores every time I play it. Or I could... Actually, you know what? I'll show you a little trick. If you want to go for really good talismans, but you're not confident to be able to, go ahead and play some of the levels with all of your battle traits and stuff pumped up and, really get those chances going, here's a little tip. Go back and play some of the first levels. And actually, you know what? Play endurance on all of the earlier levels. If you're struggling to get enough experience and therefore enough skill points to, make yourself more capable of playing some of the later levels, don't be afraid to come back and play some of these earlier levels on some seriously difficult settings or even just easy settings and go for endurance. Do whatever you can, just play for it as long as you can. I guarantee that will be a lot easier than when you first played them, and it's a good way to harvest quite a decent amount of XP. I mean, this one, I remember, what did I get, 2000 XP when I first played this level? Field F1, and yeah, now I've played it. I think it was not on haunting difficulty level, but glaring difficulty level. I went ahead and got 462,809 XP. It's quite significant. So there's an option if you're struggling to pass levels or get XP. Replay some of the older stuff. Go in endurance mode, rip them up. Now, I was going to say something about talismans. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to play the first level on Haunting difficulty. And remember, it's only got 3 waves, and there's a reasonable chance that when you play this map, it will spit out a talisman fragment. Reasonably good chance, okay? Now let's see, let's get rid of that. What am I going to do? I've got some cores to spend. I'm going to do that, just to give myself a few more waves. And more mana. Let's give it a crack. So yeah, 16 to 47 plus 10. So if I get a fragment, it's going to be any rarity between 26 and 57. Now I don't know about you, but that's pretty decent. We're looking at a bare minimum of, what's that? A yellow coloured fragment. I like that. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get rid of that from there. And put my tower right here. Yeah. Actually, let's get rid of those two. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, I've got my skills set up such that I get bonuses from whenever I have gems of a certain grade or higher. Even for gems that have 4 modifiers. This is the usual gem I go for. Just because I want to, maximize my potential for getting good damage while I'm going ahead and playing. So I've got, let's see, what, Bloodbound, Pullbound, Chain Hit, always Chain Hit, so I can hit more than one monster at a time. May as well. And Mana Leeching, just for the sake of it, really. No reason other than that. It might make a difference, it might not. Who knows? Who cares? Let's see now. That seems to be going okay. Glaring difficulty level is pretty harsh if you're going to play some of the later levels, but for some of the beginning levels, believe me, this is easy. It's quite doable. Oh, please don't bother asking me questions about what field do I have to play to get. Do I have a talisman yet? No, not yet. Don't ask me questions about, oh, what field do I have to play to unlock amplifiers, or what field do I have to play to get this skill or that, spell or whatever. Just keep on trying to play through the game. Play without any battle traits on at all if you have to. Just go ahead, break open as many of the tome chamber levels as you can, and go from there. Oh, I'm an idiot. I did place all of this one down too much. And that's awesome English, by the way. Stuff it, whatever. Alright, I'm falling asleep and so are you. Let's get this moving, shall we? Come on, Talisman. Oh, yes! Talisman fragment. There it is. Thank you very much. I have a talisman and it's going to be reasonable. You know what? Just for fun, let's get more Reavers out of the last one. I'm going to give you my good old favourite, the bolts. Oh, it's not even a competition. 1,648. What am I doing? Nah. It's pretty much almost one-shot kills every single time. Man, that was easy. Whatever. Alright, let's finish this level and see what fragment I got. But yeah, this is a good example of how to get good fragments. And also reasonable XP. I mean, this is a raw XP. 2,551. Once you've got the trait and difference multiplier added to it, it's a little bit different. That's not much, but having said that, play through endurance, start, gem bombing the hell out of all of the wave stones. As long as you keep on defeating enemies, that's going to go up quite a lot. Are you kidding me? Okay, my minimum possible was a rarity of 26. Maximum was in the 50s, and I got a rarity 28. And you know what? That's actually not bad, all things considered. If I've got another yellow inner fragment that doesn't have initial mana and wizard level for XP and mana, then I'm going to keep that. Let's see now. Yeah. Hurry up. Actually, what do I have? Let's see. That's a candidate to go. That's a candidate to go. Oh, all three of them are a candidate to go. So what do we got? Reavers and Bolt. I like that. Beam and Swarmlings. They go hand in hand. That could go. XP and damage to buildings. Much of a muchness. I'm actually going to get rid of this one and shove this in its place. Now let's see, what have we got? I've only got 82 Shadow Cores, so I'll just leave that unupgraded for the moment. Or should I? Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Anyways, that's an example of how to very quickly, cheaply and easily go ahead and get yourself some decent talismans. And I think you get the general gist on how to get a lot of XP as well. Oh, by the way, those different difficulty levels, Glaring and Haunting, they are also just unlocked as you play through the fields, okay? Just keep playing fields, keep beating them, and things will just unlock naturally. And there isn't really much of a point to go ahead and actually ask, what field do I have to get to unlock this and that? Just play the game normally and things will just unlock as you go. Let's see, what could I do? I could... Oh, by the way, just in case you haven't noticed, all of the gem colors are available for me on all levels. I have a sneaking suspicion that has something to do with the fact that I have all of the colors of the gems unlocked in my skills tab, and I've also got at least maybe one in every one of them, so maybe that enables me to have them in every single field. I don't know, you're gonna have to read up on that yourself, but that's my suspicion. Anyways, what am I gonna do? Could try that level, but that's not easy. Actually, you know what? As far as levels not done yet is concerned, outside of the ones that start with V, I've only got 2 levels. This one and this one. And they're both difficult, and I suck at them. So you know what? I'm going to play for you. Actually, I wonder how long this video has been. I'm not going to play anything. I'm going to leave this for the next video. Catch you later, guys. Have a good one. See you next video. Sorry I didn't have more gameplay content, but people have been asking questions. I thought I'd just clear some things up. So go ahead. Go and hunt down these fields with no battle traits on. Let's see. Go ahead and replay all the earlier levels in endurance mode. It's really easy XP. Go ahead and play Wizard Tower locations, preferably ones that are, you know, more difficult. Seriously, 06, pretty solid for getting reasonable amount of Shadow Cores. Just spend maybe 30 Shadow Cores on pumping up your battle traits, and then just let those apparitions and spires and stuff keep on coming in. Oh, last thought. Shadows. You cannot attack them all of the time. Sometimes they are impervious to attack. So wait for them to be, you know, have their guard down. And when you're doing damage to them, freeze them, curse them. And if you also have it, let's see, what's it called? Eternity spell them as many times as you can to weaken them as much as possible. Give your gem in your tower the bolt ability. Select him and go nuts on him. Try and bring him down as quickly as possible. As for spires, don't let them touch your orb. If they make it to your orb, they'll settle on your orb and they'll corrupt it and it's game over. So spires, try and somehow get your gem in a tower pretty close to a spire, in between it and your orb, and when it's close enough, give your gem the beam spell. Beam spells basically cut through them. I think the spires limit the amount of damage it can take from any one hit down to like 200 and something. So beams fire incredibly quickly. Use the beam and you'll bring down spires reasonably quick. And I think the curse spell helps you out a little bit with that too and raises that limit for how much damage you can take per hit. That's another hint that I need to tell you. Oh, and also when you destroy a shadow or a spire, note that when they do finally release from the world, they are going to destroy all of your walls in close proximity. So when they disappear and die, make sure you pause the game and rebuild those walls, otherwise you're going to be in for a hell of a time cleaning yourself up.